2025 Fabricating the Future Conference webinar. I'm Matt Brennan. I'm the Senior Education Manager for AATCC. AATCC is here with our partner SEAMS, and we're here to talk about our 2025 Joint Annual Conference. At this point, I'll be turning it around to our two moderators, Barry Brady, who is the chair of C11, which oversees AATCC's annual conference, as well as our treasurer, and Britt Moore, who is the president of SEAMS. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. Thank you.
Well, good morning. I'm Barry Brady. As mentioned, I am chair of C11, also work for Organic Dyes and Pigments. Welcome aboard. Brett?
And I'm Britt Moore, owner of BK Fabrics. As they said, president of SEAMS currently. And yeah, we're going to be kind of bouncing back and forth here between a couple folks. And yeah, as we get started, Barry, I will kick it back to you.
All righty, and we're happy to start off with our executive director, Greg Woodcock, who heads up the association and the activities of the association. Greg has a very diverse background coming out of Philadelphia College of Textiles and also ITT, and then he went into manufacturing with various manufacturers, including Burlington and Hanesbrands specifically. He ended up being the senior manager for product quality and safety at Hanesbrands, with direct reports really all over the nation. And so with that, Greg has been a very active member of AATCC, and now he's turned that into being the head of ATCC and our technical center there in the Research Triangle Park. So with that, Greg, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Barry. I appreciate that. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for joining us as we talk not only about AATCC and SEAMS, but also our Fabricating the Future conference that we're holding in Savannah in October. So this first slide that I have up here shows the AATCC logo on the left and then the AATCC Foundation on the right. And not everyone knows it, but AATCC really has two organizations. The association is the daily operations of the organization, and then the foundation is the charitable arm. And we'll talk more about that later in the presentation. So Matt, if you could move to the next slide. Thank you. So AATCC's mission is to connect the global textile community to empower an innovative, informed, and sustainable future. I don't always like to read things on a slide, but when you have something as important as a mission statement, sometimes it's important to just go ahead and read that. And in order to achieve that mission, there are many different things that AATCC does. We are most known for developing our test methods, and this is the 100th edition of our manual of test methods. And little comparison, this is one of the few remaining copies of the 1923 manual. So they've been around for a long time, and in the library here at the AATCC Technical Center, we've got one of each. So in addition to developing test methods, we also create and sell supporting aids for doing laboratory tests. When you perform a laboratory test, it's really critical that you use the right materials, because if you don't, you won't get consistency. And one of the things I've heard people talk about over many years is things like detergent. Some of the many tests that we have require the use of detergent, and I hear some people say, well, we could just go out and use Tide because that's what consumers are using. But if you look at Tide yesterday, today, and tomorrow, it's going to be 3 different products. But if you use AATCC standardized detergent, it will be the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So your lab results will be consistent over time. We also have research committees which help us create those test methods. Those committees are made up of our members, and we have individual members, we have corporate members, and we have student members. We also are very into education, whether it's workshops or conferences or online programs. We also do publications such as the AATCC Review, which is put out every 2 months. New one just hit my desk this afternoon. There's also a Journal of Research. It's a peer-reviewed academic journal. So if you are in the world of academia and need to publish a scientific journal document in the textile field, AATCC is there for you. And then we have the foundation, which gives out scholarships and research grants. Next slide, Matt. There you go. So AATCC is a standards provider. There's the manual. We were founded in 1921, and as I showed you, the first book came out in 1923. There are now more than 150 active test methods, lab procedures, evaluation procedures, and monographs. So it's not just a small list, it's a big list. And there are test methods in the current manual that have been active since 1923. So if you want to have an impact on the textile industry today and 100 years after today, AATCC is a great place to do that, because once you get a method in there, as long as that's still relevant to the industry, it will continue on and on and on. Next slide, please, Matt. And AATCC also provides support for testing. We will do educational things, workshops, conferences. This can include hands-on demonstrations, lectures. We have a lab that corporate members are able to utilize if they need to do testing using equipment not at their location. We also do sell QC aids such as detergents and grayscales, control fabrics. We are very active in doing proficiency testing, which if you have a calibrated lab, that's very important to you. We work with UV calibration standards, and all of that gets published in our Manual of International Test Methods and Procedures. Next slide, Matt. And then our foundation. The foundation, as I said, is the charitable arm of AATCC. It awards over $100,000 annually in scholarships and fellowships. In addition, we do student research support, which is $10,000 a year. And those that win a scholarship or fellowship or a research grant, they get to travel to the annual conference on the AATCC dime. So some of those people will be joining us in Savannah for the conference with SEAMS, because we do support them with that. And with that, I will hand it back over to Barry so that he can tell us about upcoming AATCC education, and then we'll move to SEAMS.
Thank you, Greg, and glad to have you aboard. As you can see, education is a big part of AATCC, and you might be out there for our SEAMS friends and hopefully to be family together in Savannah. You might say, what in the world is AATCC? We use that real quick, or sometimes you'll hear us call it A squared, but it means American Association of Textile Colorists and Chemists. So it slants towards textiles, it slants towards color, but we also touch a lot of physicals as well, and you'll see that in our technical manual. But notice our upcoming educational series that you can take part of, and these can all be found on our website. But color management is definitely a key. We try to stay up on that. We have a research committee, RA36, that heads this one up. And also specifications. You know, one of the things we're finding now as we're having multiple blends of fibers into fabrics is, okay, how do we specify that particular fabric? And so you'll see that, and we'll talk about how to really come up with fabric specifications. Textile testing is a mainstay with us. We test everything: croc, wash, light, stretch, peel, just to name a few. There's multiple tests that we will cover in that textile testing workshop. Fabricating the Future is our big annual conference that we're talking about. You'll hear much more about it a little bit later on. And this is where we're partnering with SEAMS to bring our SEAMS friends in to have a big conference down in Savannah, Georgia. We were there last year as AATCC. Had a wonderful time, great boat ride with a superb dinner, DJ, and so we'll talk more later on about that. But the final one is, you see the title, Innovation. We try to stay up on all innovation. This particular seminar is on printing, but we also look at all kinds of innovation. The big word PFAS or PFAS, that is a big one. We have a research committee for that as well. So again, we try to meet the needs of our textile community. And we hope you'll search us out on the web and see other avenues that you can get involved with AATCC. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Brett to introduce our SEAMS.
Thank you, Barry. Yes, as I said before, my name's Brett. I'm with SEAMS. And talking about SEAMS Association today is going to be Will Duncan. He our executive director. And I've been a member of SEAMS for probably 10 years. And Will has been the executive director that entire time. He grew up in the industry. He has his own company within the industry, Will Duncan and Associates. And honestly, Will, I don't know the extent of your full background because we don't have that much time and we don't have that much time to talk about it. So with that, I will turn it over to you and to talk about the vision and structure of SEAMS.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. And no, we don't need to go back through 40 years of working in this industry, other than to say that, you know, it's in your, once it gets in your blood, all of us at times, I think, have looked outward and gotten our heads up and said, maybe I need to do something else. And, you know, anyone I've ever talked to that's tried to get out, the majority of them end up in it because it's so boring compared to what we do. Though we like to have some boring days, we don't get many, and if we do, we're antsy because we don't know what to do with ourselves. Yeah, it's an honor to serve as the executive director for SEAMS. A little bit about SEAMS. We've been around for over 50 years and serve as the association and voice for the for the textile and sewn products industries. As Greg said, we'll read you the vision statement, and it's basically to strengthen the impact of Made in America in today's global economy. Next. So SEAMS has about 200, a little over 200 members that range from some brands and retailers. About 35% of our membership are the cut and sew guys, cut and sew contractors and manufacturers. Then about 35% are your textile guys. So your knitters, weavers, dyers, finishers, printers, your spinners, your thread suppliers, yarn suppliers, even the technology guys, such as the equipment and software suppliers to the industry, are members of SEAMS. So we pretty much span the entire U.S. sewn products supply chain within our collective of members. We're really, I think the strength of SEAMS is we are a networking association, and that's what we do. Our role at SEAMS is to drive business to our members and promote Made in the USA. Plain and simple. That's the main thing that we do. We do it in a number of ways. Next. One of those is our SEAMS Power Search tool, sourcing tool, which I think there's a few others in the industry, but I'm not sure that they function like ours does. Ours actually it's like a Google search, and it's located on the SEAMS. If you go to the web, our landing page on the website up at the top, you'll see Power Search. You can click on it. It'll bring up a window. And if you're looking for denim, or you're looking for thread, you're looking for a piece of sewing equipment, you're looking for children's wear manufacturer, whatever you're looking for, put those key search terms in, and it'll go out and query our database of our members. When a company joins SEAMS, they fill out a pretty extensive profile of the company, which is used in the Power Search. And so when you do a search, it'll bring back all of the SEAMS members that can provide that product or service, and has their full information. It comes back with a brief description. The ones you're interested in, you click on it, and it'll bring up their full bio and all the information about them, all their contact information and all. So it's a really valuable tool for those folks who are looking to find something within and source within our industry. And I've actually had folks that said, I spent 3 months and multiple trips trying to find what I found and couldn't find it, and found it in 10 minutes on your website with a Power Search. So I encourage folks to use that. Next. We also participate in a number of industry trade shows where we'll exhibit and represent both SEAMS and our members at those shows. We also our biggest trade show event is associated with Text Process America show in Atlanta that we just had in May. We take about over 4,000 square feet of booth space. I think we're, if not the largest, the second largest pavilion at that show. And so it's basically the SEAMS Supply Chain USA Pavilion, and we'll have somewhere between 35 and 40 of our members exhibiting within that area. And we're typically the busiest, not to tout ourselves, but the show folks tell us we're the busiest area on that show floor pretty much every year of the show. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, as you see on the screen, this SEAMS Supplier Showcase. It was the first time we've really done this, and I want to take my hat off to Social Herrera Share, who was on our board and pretty much coordinated this for us with help from Britt and Nancy, our business manager. But we were able to pull 70 companies participated in it, representing, we had more than 25 different products represented within the showcase. And some were apparel, as you can see here, some non-apparel, a wide range of products that were represented. And for a product to make its way into the showcase, there had to be 3 or more SEAMS members that actually participated in the manufacture of that product. And it was quite a hit, and something that we continue to want to continue to build upon, and are brainstorming different ways that we can further develop that. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it regarding the showcase. Although I will tell you, a lot of people said, I had no idea you could make all this stuff here. So I think it was successful in our mission of saying, hey, we're here, we can make this stuff, you can produce here in the US. Next. In addition to trade shows, we also participate in a lot of other industry events and conferences. We have 2 conferences ourselves that we that we organize, one in the spring and one in the fall. And the one coming up in the fall will be our the Fabricating the Future trade conference that we're doing in conjunction with AATCC. And I can't tell you how excited I am about this opportunity. Having been in this industry for 40 years and having worked with many trade shows from other past jobs and so forth, and associations, and been a part of SEAMS for many years, this is the first time I have seen our industry associations come together in this manner that we are, and there's a collective, I guess might be the proper word for it, Greg, where more than 12 of the industry associations have pulled together to find ways to collaborate, do more together and collaborate. And we're the first two of that group to actually do a joint trade show together. So, Greg, we can, and folks, we can pump our chest out a little bit, and being the first to be able to bring that to you. And again, we are really, really proud of it, and very, very pleased to be working with AATCC in this endeavor, especially since we're both here in the Raleigh area. I'll kick it back to you guys.
Well, thanks, guys. And as I hope our viewers can see, that we're excited. And you're seeing a slide now that will actually highlight a little bit of the activity of Fabricating the Future. And, it really just wouldn't be fun if we didn't kick it off looking at what we would call green shades. And so, Brett, tell us a little bit about the green shades out there.
All right. Yeah. And as we go through this, everyone, if you want to post any questions you have to the chat, we'll be monitoring those for the Q&A kind of as we go through it. So again, this is going to be a very interactive part of the discussion. So yes, as Barry talked about, and as Will talked about, one of the key aspects of SEAMS and pretty much any association is that we want people to network. We want people to meet people they haven't met before, to realize what is possible, and, to talk across the aisles, and, whatever you can to meet those new people and new suppliers and new customers. And one of the ways that SEAMS has always done that is we have a golf tournament for all us golfers and would-be golfers and people who can barely swing a club. They're all invited. Bring your sticks. SEAMS normally kicks off our conferences with a golf tournament, and we're going to be bringing that to the Fabricating the Future conference here this fall. One thing to note for SEAMS members, this golf tournament is going to start on a Sunday. Usually it's midweek, but SEAMS and AATCC got together, and we're gonna start the golf tournament on the Sunday, with the conference starting on the Monday. So golf tournament is going to be similar to what many have experienced in the past. It's going to be a scramble. I'm not sure if it's going to be a 3-man or 4-man scramble yet. For those of you familiar with those, you'll understand what that means. It will be a shotgun start, and the golf course in Savannah is right next to the hotel. You can walk there if you want to, or they have a little shuttle. I think it's less than a quarter mile away. It's a beautiful golf course, and everyone that has ever golfed it has had nothing but glowing things to say about it. And it should be, a great networking time, a little bit of fun, or a lot of fun, depending on what your group entails, to kind of kick things off and, give everybody a chance to, kind of network before you really network. So.
Brett, let me dovetail onto that, if I may. Just want to encourage all AATCC golfers to please come in early and join us and participate in this golf tournament. It is a lot of fun, and like you said, doesn't matter how good you are. Well, yeah, we have some good ones. We have several good ones that are down around scratch golf level. So anybody on the AATCC side that wants to throw down the gauntlet, bring it on.
And even if, like Will said, even if you're not sure if you're a good golfer, it doesn't matter. You're going to be in a scramble. It's going to be a lot of fun. we invite everybody to come on out. It's always a great event.
Yeah, we really probably have more. We have far more that if they really kept the score, it's probably anywhere between 120 and 150. So
yes, and we
fun.
have the same. So we actually kicked our conference off playing the golf course last year, and I think our members will tell you it was a great time and a beautiful golf course. And yes, you will see alligators on the golf course, so you can see nature at its best. So to register for the golf course, you can hit either the A Square or the SEAMS website, and we will take first come, first serve until we fill up. Correct, Britt?
That is correct. Yes. Yep.
Okay, and then after golf, we will actually kick off from the A Square side, and I hope you see the partnership as we go through this, and we're going to be tag teaming back and forth, but both groups have been meeting diligently, designing this program that you're going to be able to enjoy, hopefully. You'll see interaction from both sides, knowing that we have to bring two associations together. We've taken, it's not A Square, it's not SEAMS, it together. It's Fabricating the Future. And so you'll see that. But notice one of our keys being education oriented, we always have a student paper competition within A Square. And so this is where our academia comes in to part of our association. And so we'll start that off Sunday afternoon. This is an elective. If you would like, you can attend and see the students present the papers that have already been critiqued. And then we'll actually whittle that down and actually award prizes on the boat for these competition. So that's an elective. It'll be mid-afternoon Sunday, but it's very informative. If you want to get on the cutting edge of what the universities are researching in the field of textiles, it can be in circularity, sustainability. Last year, we had a lot of PPE papers that were working on PFAS and PPE. So you just never know where the paper is going to come from. So we invite you to come in early, as Will said, and enjoy the town. One reason we started on Sunday was so that you could have a long weekend. And so we do have the room blocks for the whole weekend, so you can take advantage of the reduced rate for the rooms. And so if you want, now we only have limited room blocks earlier, Friday, Saturday. So make sure you go ahead and get your room block early if you plan to do that. Come and see Savannah, full of history, a lot of good food, and it's just a neat little town.
Indeed.
So, yeah, I was going to add, Barry, that the hotel is the Westin there in Savannah. Beautiful property, sits right across from the river from Savannah, and there are ferries that will ferry you over right from the hotel over to downtown Charleston, and it's no longer than about a 10-minute or so boat ride across the river. Really close.
And it's free.
Yes, free, and it's Savannah. It'll be a longer ride to Charleston, but it is Savannah. And but one of the things too that we've come together with to help further network and mix together is, you'll see in the lower left-hand corner is this riverboat dinner cruise with DJ. Last year we did this as A Square, and I'll tell you, the most remarkable thing of the whole cruise, believe it or not, was the food. It was outstanding. It was good to be with our friends. And then we actually had a DJ with some music, and we did some fun things on the dance floor and some not so fun things on the dance floor. But we had a great time. The boat will literally come across the river and pick us up this year at the Western Hotel, so we don't have to ferry across like we did last year for the A Square members. It'll actually come across, dock right there at the Westin, and we get on. But this really was a highlight. It's a great time to see friends and just talk. And a lot of our spouses come with us. So we encourage you to come and network with us on the boat. You just never know what happens on the boat. And so we had a solo by our good friend of all of us, Devin, and he
Yep.
actually did a solo for us. So come and enjoy the activities.
Yeah, did you hear that, SEAMS members? There'll be a DJ. There should be some dancing, a lot of fun. We don't know anything about that, so.
Okay, at this time, why don't we pause? Are there any questions from those that are viewing with us? And if you check your chat box, Mr. Steele has put down the gauntlet saying he was the most amazing thing on the dance floor. So yeah, I think there's one bar already established, Will.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think Layla said, "What's with the Gators?"
Yeah.
I think what she meant to say is everybody's going to get to see Devin Gator.
Yes, no, they're in the water. They were not out on the golf course, but we did see a couple in the water. So last year, but again, the riverboat cruise is just a great way to springboard into our Monday session there. And Britt, why don't you give them just a little rundown on what they'll expect Monday?
Sorry, Barry, what was that?
We're going to talk about Monday, the conference, Brett.
Okay. Yeah, Monday, we're going to start the main conference. And Will, I don't know if you want to speak to the keynote speaker and the other speakers that are coming up on that first day.
Yeah, I'll be glad to, Brett. So really excited. Kim Glass, who is head of NICTO, of course, the lobbying arm for the textile sector. One of the hardest working women or people I know, and certainly within our industry. Just, I think everyone has a world of respect for the job she does and the banner she carries into DC on behalf of the industry. Of course, depending on where you sit, you might not always agree if you're farther up the supply chain, but she does a great job, and I'm really excited to have her. Her schedule is usually slammed, and it's hard to get her to participate, but we have her now, and I think you're going to. Well, there's no telling what she's going to talk about because there's so much that could change between now and October that it will be interesting to see where we are at that point in time. So looking forward to having Kim. We have a number of other speakers. Roger Tutoro has spoken at two of our classes before, or conferences before, and he's an economist, and I think most of our folks will agree he's probably the most informative and entertaining economist with his dry sense of humor that you will encounter. And where normally 10 minutes into a economist presentation, it feels like it's been an hour. With him, the hour feels like it's only been 10 minutes. So I think you'll enjoy that. Nicole Bivens, representing a law firm, will talk. Obviously, she's going to talk a lot about trade. And so asking her what's she going to talk about next October, who knows? It could change, 100 times between now and then. And then Margarita Mendoza with Made in America will be speaking as well. And then we have what's his name? I'm sorry, folks. we have another brand that's going to speak, a startup brand, and I'll get to that one here in just a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One question that has come up on the chat was if can you purchase additional cruise tickets? Yes. If you look on it, there is a spot. And if you have any questions, please call into AATCC and speak with Kim Nicholson. She's heading up our registration, and she'll be happy to accommodate you. But if you look, it'll say spouse or guest. That's where you would buy the additional tickets. And I might add that that is the true cost of the ticket. We did not upcharge the tickets for our guests and friends. So that is the actual cost of the actual meal. So we encourage everybody to participate. We tried our best to keep costs down because the whole key is to get everybody together so we can interact one with the other.
Yeah, Barry, and I apologize for forgetting Bill's name. Bill Amos is the other speaker that'll be joining us, and he is with Northwest Alpine Apparel and will be speaking on his experiences both as a manufacturer in this industry and as well as launching a brand. And I think you'll find his story and insight to be quite informative. He is, you'll see a lot of his stuff posted out in the social media world where he's expressing his opinions and so forth. But I think everyone will enjoy that. Now, I literally was on the phone with him just before this call, so I apologize to you, Bill.
And the other thing is, too, check both of our websites. We are constantly flooding the Fabricating the Future information on the website. I see a couple of questions about specifics. I would direct you to, if it's like the student paper question, go to AATCC's website. Then go to Fabricating the Future, and you'll see all the parameters for that, as well as you'll see the agenda, bios of the speakers, and so you'll really, hopefully, you'll see that for a day and a half conference, it's really power packed, and so we've really tried to add value to it. Just to echo Will, Roger Tutoro is he will tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the economy, where they got it right, where they guessed wrong, and sometimes, just sometimes, he will try to project into the future. But as we all know, both from Kim and Roger and all these speakers, Nicole, things are changing. It's dynamic, as Will mentioned. And hopefully there'll be some stability as we get close to October, and we're hoping that we can kind of wrap all of this up in a package. Now, again, it's the government, so we can't guarantee that. But that's our desire, is that we can look back and see some of the pain, and then hopefully see some of the success of all the strategies in there. And so the first day is really for all of our executives, for those that are doing business planning. Notice we're in October, so we're looking ahead for 2026. So all of this information should be very valuable to you, that hopefully will come forth from that. And then, of course, we'll have a lunch. And during the lunch and even the reception, brief reception on Sunday night, in the reception area, we'll be having exhibitors. And they will be actually exhibiting their products. This is the time where they can, quote, sell our presentations. We ask them not to make it, a sales pitch, but to give us the facts and to tell us what's going on. The exhibitor room is different. That's when they can show you and discuss things in more detail in a more of a, if you would, sales environment. So this is when they can highlight their products or their processes or equipment or test machines or test color instrumentation, etc. So hopefully it's going to be a one-stop shop where we're going to have the technical, we're going to have the future, and then we're going to have the practical as well.
So Barry, what's this alphabet soup reception and after party?
Well, you know, Greg, great question, but I would be remiss if I didn't pass that on to a charter member of the Alphabet Soup contingency. So, Will, take it away.
Yeah, I'll be glad to speak to that. We've had two of these so far, and they were both at trade shows. So again, AATCC and SEAMS will be the first to host, unless Devin slips one in on us at his conference, STA conference, and that's a good possibility. And I won't speak for them, but I know he was looking at it. But we are looking at bringing it to our conference, and it really is just networking from all walks of life within our industry and all the different associations. And like I said, the networking that we normally provide when we're able to wrap all of the associations together is off the chart. Now, are we going to get that many people that we have at a trade show to come to this? Probably not, and not as diverse a group, but it will be an experience that I think you'll want to, that we hope both or all of our events will be ones that you will be talking about for years to come. Britt, you want to share some of the comments you've heard from folks and yourself from participating in the Alphabet Soup?
Everything I've heard and from what I experienced at Text Process was, well, Text Process had a waiting list of people that wanted to be a part of it, to network, and it was just front to back. They were just highly energetic, highly networked, events that everybody wanted to be a part of. And I think including that into our conference here is only going to kind of increase that. And one of the reasons that we joined forces on this conference was we received a lot of feedback from people that there were too many small conferences, travel budgets are tight. So, aside from AATCC and SEAMS joining forces on this conference, we thought what better way to, bring in more people than include the Alphabet Soup contingent. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Everybody that I ever talked to about Alphabet Soup really loved all of the events, or both the events that they've had so far. So I think it's going to be a win-win for both, our conference as well as the Alphabet Soup group.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. Let me add to that, Britt, that the purpose of the Alphabet Soup, and I might have said it earlier, but it really is to bring further value to our members and the industry as a whole. And what's great is every association is looking at it not through their own lens, but we're looking through a collective lens now. And there's several other associations that we've always collaborated with pretty closely, but that's expanded, and we're finding more and more, or identifying more and more ways to do that and look through that one lens collectively as an industry, which I think is very, very valuable. Hence, fabricating the future. We're building our future now for this industry. And so you guys come to Savannah and help us continue that journey.
And you
Thanks.
hear
Hey,
us
Will,
keep
I'd like
repeating.
Barry, I just wanted to,
Go,
for
Greg.
the audience, I want to tell the members of the audience all of the associations in Alphabet Soup. If you haven't heard of Alphabet Soup, it's good to know who's in it. So obviously AATCC and SEAMS, but also AAPN, the American Apparel Producers Network, ATA, the Advanced Textiles Association, ATMA, the American Textile Machinery Association, INDA, the Association of the Nonwovens Fabrics Industry, NALA, the North American Linen Association, NWI, the Nonwovens Institute, SPISA, the Sewn Products Equipment and Suppliers of the Americas, STA, Southern Textile Association, SYFA, the Synthetic Yarn and Fabric Association, and our newest member of the collective, NAUMD, the Network Association of Uniform Manufacturers and Distributors. So if you don't think that that represents the textile and apparel industry, I don't know what does. That is a tremendous collective of organizations that exist to support this industry. And as we can work together, we can only help each other more. So it's a fantastic group of people. So thank you for that.
And thanks, Greg, because one of the questions, can we get a list? Yes. I think we can post, matter of fact, Nancy and Kim, why don't we post a list of the Alphabet Soup members on both of our websites and under Fabricating the Future. So good suggestion coming from the chat box. You hear us talk about networking, and that's really where it's about. It's where we're sharing. If you're looking to do something, to manufacture, or how about, are you looking to hire somebody? We'll have a lot of academia. A lot of students will be graduating, looking for a job. We encourage our textile students from all universities to come and to participate with us. Even give them a discounted rate so that they can come. They'll be in the student competition, some of them, but some of them come as well, just to see the exhibitors. And I might add that evening, the showcase and cocktail social with the Alphabet Soup there, that is going to be a heavy hors d'oeuvre. It's going to be almost a meal, but it's not going to be a sit-down meal. So we're planning a heavy hors d'oeuvre environment so you can stay. You don't have to run off and go eat. We will provide the food for you so you can sit there and network. And then, we have that after party. And I think we would be remiss if our SEAMS friends wouldn't enlighten the A Square friends about what the after party is.
Brett, I'm going to let you speak to that one since I didn't make it to the end of that and you did. I had to go get my beauty sleep.
Well, as you know, we're a highly shy group. Never like to do much fun, but no, the after party includes obviously more networking. There's a few more cocktails. There'll be a little bit of food here and there. There'll also be some karaoke for those that enjoy that kind of thing. And it's just a way for everybody to continue networking, having some fun without really leaving the hotel if they don't feel like, jumping on a boat, going across the river or anything like that. It usually goes to the wee hours. And you'll learn a lot about people at that hour, who that can sing and who that can't, but they will both be energetically showing off their skills. But it is a way for, to continue the networking, even though it's fairly informal at that point, just a way for everybody to continue having fun, learning about each other, and, not having to stress too much about getting in a car, getting on a boat, going to another area or another restaurant or anything like that. So highly recommend it. And if you need some more referrals on that, I can send more referrals your way of people that really recommend it. So we encourage everyone to stay around for the after party, which it should be a great way to end the first full day of the conference.
Thank you. And then we will move to your Tuesday. And notice we kind of abbreviated Tuesday, mainly not to confuse or to put a lot of information on the screen. But on Tuesday, it's more what we would call our technical side. We will actually have 2 tracks running parallel, but you can intermix between one track and the other track. One track will be looking at color development all the way through the finished product. So we'll be looking at, okay, I have a color concept. Can I get this particular shade on a certain fiber, etc.? all the way through the finished fabric. And so that should be very attractive to a lot of manufacturers and even brands as they seek to try to entice us with the new and the next generation. The second track that's happening simultaneously would be performance and sustainability. So I've got something, but I need better color fastness, or I need maybe more elasticity, whatever it might be. And then how can we be sustainable? How can we really help the environment? So we have various talks in both tracks going simultaneously through the next morning on Tuesday. So that would be more of our technical side of things to really round out the conference. We have the economic impact in the first, and then we have the Washington impact on the first day. The second day is really putting the rubber on the road. How do we do it? How do we make it? And the neat part about the A2 SEAMS connection is there will be a lot of manufacturers, the people that actually have the dye machines or the laboratories to develop the processes and the shades, all the way through to the brands who actually will market and sell. So we're really excited about bringing all of these people together under one roof so we can really help grow our economy here in the USA.
Barry, let me just add that that Tuesday morning, the keynote panel, if I recall, will be for everyone together, and then those tracks will start after that keynote. Correct?
That is correct. We'll all get together and then we will split off after the keynote. So that way it'll give you time for Brett. It'll give him a little extra time to get in there and after that late night. But we will kick off and the keynotes will come in. And again, these are people in manufacturing that will talk to us about maybe issues that they're facing, maybe successes that they've achieved. So again, we're trying to learn from one another, but yes. And then at the end of the day, we're going to try to bring everybody back together. Now, whether that's going to be possible or not is to be determined, just to send everybody off on Tuesday. We will be stopping close to the noon hour on Tuesday, so you can prepare to get home. So really, what you see is you can have a great weekend in Savannah. We'll start with a good round of golf on Sunday, and then we'll have a great dinner cruise and meal Sunday night, and then we'll have the technical sessions on Monday and half a day Tuesday. So when you really look at it, it really, you're sacrificing 2 days of work. And we're hoping that all of our industry, both brands, manufacturing, academia, we're hoping we'll all come together on October 5th through the 7th down in Savannah.
All right. Just looking at the chat box, it doesn't seem like there's too many questions or any questions there. If anybody has any, please feel free to, here we go.
Yeah, we've got one right there.
Yep. Yes. Non-members or potential members actively participating in these events. This is the only conference that my work-related travel this year. So are non-members or potential members actively participating?
I would say yes on the A2 side. We welcome both. The majority will be members, of course, but we do have non-members. Matter of fact, a lot of people join A2 at our conferences. Our conferences are open. You don't have to be a member to come to the conference.
Same with us. Same thing. And we encourage all.
Yes. 100%.
Absolutely.
And of course, if you're a non-member coming, both AATCC and SEAMS would love to have your membership. And once you have a chance, the best place to get to know us and figure out if you're thinking about membership, please come, because this is where you get to see the true value in the two associations, and the networking that goes on. It's invaluable.
It is.
And there are lots more opportunities in both organizations to get exposure for networking and education. There's just so many benefits to joining these associations. I highly encourage it. And if you're not a member, come anyway, get that networking experience, and maybe you'll want to join even if it's not in your budget.
It is worth it. 100%.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
I think lacking any questions there, I guess the big question is how do people register for this conference? For both associations, both SEAMS and AATCC, there are links to registration on the home pages and the event pages for both sites. For SEAMS, there's a link on the front page, kind of on the lower left, of upcoming events. And for AATCC, there's a link on the right-hand side of the page, a little bit further down, of upcoming events. That will take you to the registration page for this event. You can select your option, your member, non-member options. If you have any questions, there's information there as to who to direct those questions to. For SEAMS, generally, though, we would request you direct those to Nancy, and for AATCC, direct those to Kim, and we'll have that information will be available as well.
But the key thing, I think, Brent, would be that go to the website. If you're comfortable with SEAMS website, go there, because they will tell the story. If you're comfortable with AATCC, go there. They're going to tell you the same story. So again, we're united together, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yep. And one date to note, deadline for registration, early bird registration, is August 29th. You'll see that on the registration page when you get there, but just a call out that we know how much all of the members from both sides really love to sign up to things early. So we encourage everyone to get registered, learn more about the conference. If you have more questions, reach out to people, get those questions answered. But early bird registration does end on August 29th.
Thank you, Brad. And please go ahead and look at your hotel accommodations. This is a discounted rate at the Westin, and there is a limited room. So don't procrastinate. Go ahead and sign up so you can enjoy all the economic benefits that we've worked hard to provide to you.
Yes. Thank you, Barry.
Save that money. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I see a lot are signing off, so I think that tells us it's about time to sign off. And so, Matt, would you like to close us out?
Thank you, gentlemen. So with that, please visit the website, and thank you for joining us today. We hope you, if you can, you join us for other AATCC events. We've got several upcoming workshops. And we encourage you to go to both SEAMS and AATCC websites. Make sure you sign up for Fabricating the Future, and make sure you sign up for any events for both SEAMS and AATCC. We both have newsletters, e-blasts. There's lots of ways to keep connected with us, and so we encourage you to seek those out. If you need anything, please reach out to myself, Kim Nicholson, or Nancy of SEAMS, and we'll be more than happy to help you. And thank you to all of our speakers. We're glad to have you. And please, we hope to see you in Savannah.
And thank you, Matt. We appreciate all your support, you and Kim and Nancy.
Thank
you,
y'all.
Will.
Looking
Thank you, Brett.
forward
Thank you.
to seeing everybody in Savannah. I'm ready to sign all of you up. So go register now. Run. Don't walk.
If you have any further questions, please hit the website.
Yes.
Super.
Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
Great job, everyone.
Everybody.
Good job.
Thank you.